All right, so like I was saying about doing that Mohawk session, I'm gonna do like I'm doing that anyway. That's going to be part of the rest. I'm going to just take everything and I'm going to actually, I'm not going to cut it straight up off the top here because I don't want my layers to sit square on the side. I want them to be more focused off the crown. So I'm gonna go directly off the crown and just go 45 off the crown here. I'll hold everything up and just check the line and skim it like I said. But I will not be cutting across and then following around. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna cut off the crown. And I do that a lot with the longer hair because especially when you have this really nice steep angle here, it just doesn't go with a square layer. It's like putting, you know, it's like just striking through this nice angle and you're striking through it with this. Yeah, it's cool when you have a really shaggy, maybe a shorter version, and it's like something that's like more short like this, and you're having like a punkier rock and rolly thing. But when you're doing this drippy long layer, is that what it's called? Drippy, drawn out? It just doesn't go with it that well. And it's really, it's almost like automatic to think like, oh, okay, like next step, just pull it up, cut across the top. But yeah, just try not to be automatic about that.
Do you round down through the crown to like, you know,
I usually
like
always
density? You know what I mean? Like if
Oh,
it's
like how far around do I go?
Through a little bit. You know,
Yeah, if it's
back.
denser hair, I'll like follow around, you know, I'll follow it around a little bit more. If it's really fine hair, I usually would just cut like a straight up square layer and keep more of the volume and keep the corners and stuff like that. But on thicker hair, I'll follow around the corner and I'll also like follow around this way so that I don't build up too much of a corner here. Again, back to that old like Bumble and the traditional Bumble thing and all, we used to always just cut the square, like we used to keep even the interior square as well. So it built up corners here. In the corners here, everything was over directed to the middle. But like times have changed, you know, people want more curvier, you know, or you just want to have that option. So I do follow around the corners now more and stop that buildup of wave. It also just blends things a lot easier and better. You know, when you do that straight up square layer, it's really easy to get that shelf vibe going. But the one thing is, the razor really helps you alleviate that because of the stroke. So that's that is helpful.
Yeah, I always found that after doing the older original styles, I was always doing what you're saying, like trying to go back and sort of put them together with the perimeter a little bit more. You know, because it was always
Yeah, I mean, that's when like, you know, weight removal and stuff like that comes into play. I'm gonna just change my blade. I don't know why, just.
How often do you change your blade?
Just depends. Sometimes I just forget, but if it's just starting to gnaw on the hair, or if I have a certain hair type that, see, I'm gonna just skim this right now, barely cut anything, but. It depends on the hair type, what I'm working with. If I'm working on somebody that's got like coarse hair, it's Asian hair or something, I probably want a fresh blade. Or if I'm like doing a haircut like it's a bob, you know, I might want a fresh blade because it's all about the line. If the hair's fine or porous and the blade's gonna wipe right through it, I might keep a duller blade on. But yeah, it's sort of just like however things are feeling that day. And if I'm like too cheap to waste the blade or not. A lot of times you can compensate for a dull blade just by adjusting the angle that you're approaching the hair at. So, real quick before I get into that, so I can cut this here, is, so the way I'm gonna like pick out where I wanna start my layers is, I'm gonna kinda look where the natural fall is, and I'm gonna see which hair is falling back and about where, right? So that's right about here on the top of the crown, right in the front of the crown. Like that guy, I said I want that to be up around my collar, right? So if I look at this, I'm taking about that much off. That's how I'm gonna determine how much I'm cutting. So now that I know that, and I look at it, and I know that piece is there, and that's what needs to come off, that needs to come off everywhere. So I'm going to now remember how long that is in my head, approximately. And I'm gonna take that section that I just had, that I just let go of. I'm gonna hold it right out at my 45 and just take that amount of hair off. And I'm going to use a nice, soft, wide stroke. About that much. Oh, I think my old blade was sharper than this. Do enough? Might not have done enough. This would be great hair to use grooming cream and like let air dry with some grooming cream. And it might even be worth throwing some of that in now as the hair's starting to dry in the front. It's also, grooming cream could be a cool tool to cut hair with. If you have like coarse hair and you wanna make it more supple,